Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So this has been a much requested video and it's taken me a while to get around to, but I did promise you guys that I would do a kind of a watch collection video to show you what I've got. So here we've got about 2/3 of the collection. I apologize for the glare. We're gonna take the watch box out of the way in a second here and just kind of go through them one by one. So a couple things real quick, just to kind of headline. I would consider myself a watch enthusiast, not necessarily a collector, definitely not a connoisseur, and you're not going to see anything approaching hot horology in this video. I'm really value driven when it comes to my my watches. Too many knife videos, but I'm very value driven. You know, what are the specs? What am I getting? What's the price? What's the warranty look like? I'm not really super interested in like the history or the allure of the brand. At some point that might change, but that's just kind of how I am right now. So everything in my collection would be considered affordable timepieces, well below the $1,000 mark, and I'm primarily a diver enthusiast. As far as my watch sizing goes, I have a 7.5-inch wrist. I'm about 6'2", so I can get away with fairly large watches that people with smaller wrists or that are, you know, smaller built would not really find comfortable or would look out of place. So my preferred size is actually 42 to 44 millimeter diameters. It's what fits most comfortably on my wrist. It's what looks best, and I'm definitely not shy when it comes to size and weight with watches. So anyways, knives are still my primary hobby, so that's why the collection is as it is at this point. Again, over time that might change. So we'll go through them one by one here. Let me move the box out of the way. And we'll start with my most recent acquisition, which is the Steinhardt Triton 30 ATM here. So this is actually a very, very large, fairly heavy watch. It's about 14 millimeters high. Definitely a diver tool watch. I really like the presence. It's, to be honest, it's not the most comfortable watch. The size and the weight are quite apparent on this particular piece, but I'm still definitely a fan. So anyways, here's the Steinhardt Triton 2824 movement. I know a lot of watch enthusiasts are not terribly fond of Steinhardt because they do quite a few homage watches. But again, going back to that value proposition, you know, the specs for the price, they do offer a tremendous amount of value. Okay, next piece. We're going to take a look here at the Maranez Layan. And this is actually, so Maranez has been around for a couple years. This was from the first run of the Layan, so it's a brass watch. I've got it on a NATO here with copper or bronze hardware, I don't recall at the moment. Certainly an interesting piece. This actually gets more compliments than any of my other watches, simply because I think people are drawn to the copper aesthetic here, so yeah. Next, this is the Orient Rally. This is kind of my X Factor watch. You know, partially skeletonized face here, power reserve, doesn't do hand winding, but it's a really interesting piece. And let me move that. Display case back. You know, the case isn't terribly, you know, or I'm sorry, the movement isn't really decorated at all. But it kind of just goes with the appeal of the partially skeletonized face or dial of the watch here. So definitely a fun piece to have. This one always gets a lot of questions whenever I post pictures of it on Instagram. It is discontinued, so good luck finding one. All right. Here we have the Bernhardt Sea Shark. This was actually one of the last runs of the Sea Shark before it had to be renamed the Binnacle Diver. What happened was there was a brand, I don't remember the specific brand, but a brand died out. They had a Sea Shark, they were repurchased, in recent years, and so they were going to revive the Sea Shark name. They sent you know, some legal documents to Bernhardt, so Bernhardt had to change the name. But this one is one of the last actual Sea Sharks. They're out of the U.S. The watches are obviously not made in the U.S., but the company is a U.S.-based company. 2-year warranty. Excellent value proposition. The bracelets on the Bernhardt watches are absolutely some of the nicest, especially considering the price. Extremely comfortable, very well made. They do use screws, so yeah. A nice beater. Obviously, it's a Submariner style influence. You've got the kind of the shark teeth here. I think this was designed by his son when he was fairly young, and it turned out to be one of their most popular pieces. So yeah, really nice beater slash value proposition on this one. From the same company, here is a special edition. This is the well, it's the Bernhardt F71. This was a it was a small project for F71, which is the on Watch You Seek. There's the Watch You Seek logo. It is the affordable subform where I used to spend a lot of time. I don't really go on there anymore because, again, knives are my primary hobby, but I used to be on there a lot. So this was one of the forum's project watches. It is a modified, I guess, a version of their, I think it's called the Binnacle Anchor. But, you know, blue dial, we specified the hands and the indices and the second hand and the colors. I mean, everything got customized for this particular run. So I think there are only about 200 made. The Flying Narwhal was the kind of nickname for this particular watch. You've got a flying ship on the back, branded clasp, branded crown. Really cool piece. I've had numerous offers for this one over the years, but I still like it. It's still special for me. And again, the bracelet is absolutely fantastic. So, all right, now do you have a another Orient here? So this is the Orient Equalizer. Had this one for a number of years. I was very much infatuated with this like brown copperish dial here with the red hands. It's quartz, you know, it's mineral crystal. Thankfully, I haven't scratched it, you know, yet, knock on wood. But, you know, it's really nice to have quartz options as far as like grab and go when you're late running out the door and you don't feel like grabbing an automatic piece where you're going to need to set the time. You know, I just grab one of these. Before you guys say, you know, get a watch winder, you know, I have quite a number of pieces in my collection. Again, I'm not saying that they're all super nice, but I don't like watch winders. I think they wear down the movements a bit prematurely, and again, I'm just in the habit of setting the watch when I put it on, but again, sometimes when you're in a rush, a quartz piece is very, very nice. So yeah, still really enjoy this one. Also discontinued, but that kind of brown copper dial, just, I really dig it. So yeah. Next, my only pilot watch. So this is made by a brand called Aristo. They're a German company, so they say. Pretty hard to find information on this brand, although I haven't looked in probably about a year or so. It says made in Germany. Obviously a Flieger style, uses an ETA 2824 sapphire crystal, full lume dial, so the entire dial is loomed. I'm not going to be able to do any dark shots here, but just take my word for it. And I do have it on a Fabnik horween leather strap right now. So yeah, the only Flieger. The bezel moves freely. It doesn't have clicks, so it's you know, I don't know that I quite love that aspect of it, but I do find the kind of the coin you know, dial or perimeter here quite attractive. So anyways, my only Flieger. Yeah. All right, jumping to another diver here. So this is the Aevig Huldra, kind of a 1970s retro style watch. I believe it uses the Miyota 9015, which is one of my favorite movements as far as like value movements go. kind of blue and I guess like beige or cream indices here. Blue bezel, aluminum. Extremely comfortable, you know, cushion or turtle style case. Signed crown, signed case back, signed clasp. Really like this brand, really like this watch. The band is very comfortable. Aevig is definitely a cool brand. So this fairly domed crystal here is almost impossible to photograph. I believe it does have anti-reflective on the inside, but it's just so difficult. There's a lot of distortion, which I love on the wrist, but man, taking pictures of this thing is just difficult. So yeah, retro style diver. I'll probably add more retro divers to the collection over the years. Just love the case style, love the comfort. So really nice brand here. Next is another diver from another kind of micro brand. This is the Lew and Huey Orthos. I believe they've rebranded to the Janis Trading Company, but a really nice diver here. It's got a sunburst fade combination dial in red with a gray bezel. Really comfortable case. Actually, it's a really comfortable watch in general. Just a kind of a really interesting standout piece with the red dial there. So got the date window, pretty good balance. I think this uses a Seiko movement. It's a bit odd because you have to set it doesn't have a quick set for the date, so you have to take the hour hand all the way around until the date moves, and then you can kind of quick set the date. So it's an odd feature. I don't really like it, but I love the watch so much that I just live with it, as most of us do with just about anything we love. So, but yeah, really nice piece. Again, just really standoutish. Interesting case shape on it. So. Alright, next, pick this one up from a friend off of Instagram. This is the Citizen Octavia Perpetual. It's part of their signature collection. So the signature collection has like the sapphire crystal, you know, a little bit nicer finished cases. Obviously this has some influence from the, what is it, the AP Royal Oak? One of the APs, I don't recall right now, but you know, it definitely carries some influence with the screws and the octagonal shape. Incredibly comfortable watch, really well made. I was quite impressed with the Citizen Perpetual line, or I'm sorry, Citizen Signature line. So now the Perpetual calendar is an absolute pain in the ass to set. This one, not realizing that it had such difficult requirements, I went to go adjust it and, you know, started doing all this crazy stuff. This was a couple weeks ago and I haven't made the time to. I opened up the manual to figure out how to change the time and set the date and all that, and I was reading instructions for like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it. So really incredible piece, really difficult to set the time and date on it. Does require some, it's probably going to take me like 20 minutes to sit down, read, and figure out how to do it. But again, the fit and the finish is very, very nice on these Perpetuals. So Eco Drive movement, it's got a nice honeycomb kind of dial there for the Eco Drive. But again, just a really cool piece. I'm quite fond of that one. Okay, jumping to the other watch box now. Okay, this is actually one of my first pieces. I've had this for over 10 years now. It is a Bulova 96B139. Second watch I ever purchased. Nothing terribly special about it. Like, it doesn't even use push pins. It's got like sleeves, and it's got like these tension sleeves in the bracelet here, but the bracelet's really nice. Love the way it integrates with the case here. It does have a number of scratches. This thing has been well worn. In fact, it's not even in service at the moment. It started burning through batteries. I think it needs a full service. But when I bought this piece, my friend bought the same one, but in the non-chronograph format. This was back 10 years ago, and so we would always argue you know, as to whose was nicer. And we'd be randomly just out doing something and we'd ask people who had the nicer watch. So it's a very sentimental piece to me. And I'll always keep it, even if it's not running. Then this will still be a piece that I keep, just because of the sentimental value. So, yeah. Okay, next, this is a what is it? It's a Tisell, just called the 43mm chronograph. A very bulbous, polished kind of dress piece. This was actually a gift from my wife for our wedding. Kind of very beautiful dial here. Sapphire crystal, uses the Seagull ST19 movement. Actually, it was purchased off of eBay, so I tried researching about the company, you know, a couple months after she got it for me. Couldn't really find anything in particular. You know, the ST19 movement, there have been some good ones, there have been some bad ones. Mixed reviews on the movement, but you know, it's a really nice dress piece. Kind of a nice, I mean, here's the thing, it's not like a super high quality movement, although it does look nicely decorated. Although, I mean, if we took it under magnification, you know, it might tell a different story, but, you know, gift from my wife, it was in all of our wedding photos. This watch I have been forbade from selling it, so it'll always be with me. Okay, this is a Tissot T-Sport V8 Chronograph. Another quartz piece. This is kind of like a beater watch for me. Again, another really nice grab and go. Sapphire crystal. I have it on a crown and buckle strap right now. But a really nice grab and go. The blued hands with the cream dial look really, really nice. So yeah, this is probably one of my go-to watches if I'm just on my way out the door in a hurry and I don't have 30 seconds to think about it. This ends up on my wrist more often than not, so yeah. Okay, we're almost to the end if you're still bearing with me. One of my newer pieces, this is the Seiko SARG015 or SARG015, one of the JDM exclusives, so Japanese domestic market. Some of them came over to Long Island Watches. It had been on my watch list, it had been on my wish list for a while, and so when it came into stock I bought it. Really nice kind of blue sunburst, dark blue sunburst style with a blue bezel. Kind of a sport watch, I suppose, maybe slightly dressy. It's on a blue faux alligator leather strap, but it is leather, just not alligator. Quite a nice piece. It's actually a little bit too small for me on the strap. I guess the Japanese don't have super big wrists, but I have to put it on the very last piece, or the very last connection, and then it doesn't even want to tuck into the catch there. So don't know if I'm going to keep this one long term. I could get a new strap, but I do have a new watch incoming, so this one I might let this one go. I've only worn it twice. I just, you know, when the strap doesn't work, you know, you're less likely to keep the watch. Sometimes you put it on a NATO, sometimes you order a new strap. I have a box full of straps that I've acquired over the years. I've been collecting, I think, or enjoying, been a watch enthusiast for more than 10 years now, so you just build up kind of a hoard of them, and I've tried to tone back on the endless accessories for watches at this point. Anyways, does use the Seiko 6R15 movement, really high quality movement, 50-hour power reserve, very nice sweeping hand. The JDM pieces, or the Japanese domestic market Seikos, the automatics are very well done watches. So, all right, last but not least, this was the first watch that I ever purchased. I got it at JCPenney's on clearance, and this was right after I graduated from high school. I think I got some money for graduation, and you know, I'd been on the lookout for a watch, or I'd wanted a watch, and you know, I was just walking through there and I saw this one and I had to have it. So this thing, if I can get it close enough, it's to actually beat the hell. It's got scratches everywhere. Yeah, but you know, again, a sentimental piece for me. I believe it's the Seiko, or I'm sorry, it's the Esquire Venture. Esquire is the lesser brand of Movado watches, so I think it's a Swiss movement, but it doesn't even constitute Swiss made, you know, which is another kind of black hole to discuss. But again, just when I saw it, I just thought it was such a clean and dressy piece, and with the polished and the brushed. Now, I would look at a watch like this and tell myself that it was an absolute scratch magnet. So, you know, taste change, but again, first watch, a sentimental piece. This one still runs. I think I replaced the battery a couple months ago. But yeah. Alright, so that's pretty much my collection. As of right now, I do have a new Steinhardt coming in. When it comes back in stock, it wasn't out of stock when I ordered it 2 months ago, but that's something else to whine about. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at my video here of my collection. Again, nothing incredibly, you know, nothing terribly incredible in my collection, but as a watch enthusiast, I always enjoy having something on my wrist, and I feel naked without a watch. So, yeah. Appreciate you viewing, appreciate the thumbs up if you're kind enough to leave one, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.